Thank you guys for joining in. My name is Jennifer McCraw. I brought with us our expert today. He is our market research manager. A lot of you probably have had the opportunity to speak with him. So this is Joel. Joel, we're glad you're here.
Yeah, thank you. Good afternoon.
All right. When you saw this email come out, I hope you weren't thinking, oh no, what's going on? Um, maybe you were even concerned about the way you promote your league, and maybe that piqued your curiosity. So today we're going to talk about how do we reset our league to prep for a strong season. We're going to walk through three different categories today. We're going to talk about our online presence, which is really important. You guys had amazing questions around that. Our second one is we're going to talk about how do we maximize our ministry moments? After all, that is why we do Upward Sports at our church. And then the third is creating great first impressions. We need to have good first impressions. I don't want you to feel that you have to take tons of notes. So, know tomorrow that we will send this entire replay out to you along with a new piece that we're going to present to you today to help you. As we walk through here, this is very informal, as it always is. Please put your questions in the Q&A section or the chat box, and Joel and I will answer those at the conclusion of today. So we'll stop after about 40 minutes and we'll answer questions. Our fun giveaway.
Yeah, fun giveaway. We like fun giveaways.
This is Joel's idea, by the way. So I was really excited about it. We want to help you with your social media, with your online presence. So what we're giving away is a $500 startup grant when it comes to social media. So we will help you run social media advertising to Facebook and to Instagram for you for your upcoming league, $500, as well as we will look and do an audit to your website and take a look at that to say, hey, maybe this needs to be moved around. Maybe you need to start with a sports ministry webpage. So, how exciting is that?
Yeah, that's great.
$500 and a 15-minute call and an audit to your website. So, I hope that that's exciting to you. All right, let's get started. League reset. We're prepping for a strong season. Let's first talk about refreshing your online presence. That is very, very important. So I'm going to start with why it matters, and then I'll touch on a few points, and then Joel can definitely jump into this. Why this matters. Why does it matter that we need to refresh our online presence? Well, families often see your website or social media before they ever step foot on your campus. First impressions online help a family decide whether they're going to give your ministry a chance. We probably can all think about any type of product that we bought or even a place that we are going to stay with our family. I'll give you an example. The Ark. We were going to go there a couple of months back. What did I do? I went to their website first to see what it looked like. I wanted to see the experience. Does it look fun? What can I expect when I go to this place? And what can I learn? And so that is what our families, when they come to your league, they are doing. They want to know, what can you tell me? What is my child receiving? And then we have to have this big call to action, which is sign up now. Don't make our families look around for this. The first step I would say is a website checkup. That's very important. You can all think of your church website. How hard is it to find your Upward Sports section or your ministry, your sports ministry section? So we all like to do logos. So this is an older logo of Upward Sports that you may have seen before. I pulled this off of a few websites, and you can see that the back is still white. It was on a black background, so it's out of date. This is an older logo for Upward Sports. This is an older logo for Upward Sports. While they look good, they're not the most recent or the most relevant of our logos. This, to help you, I was like, well, then we need to know what is our logo. So this is a correct logo, a current or a relevant logo. Now, you can find these logos on our resource section. So that's our first step, right? When we go to our website, let's do a checkup.
Yeah, let's do.
Thoughts on that?
Yeah, I wonder, do you think parents want to spend 2 hours on a website trying to find information? How long do you think they'll stay there on the website when they're looking around?
That's a great question. Not long, because
Not
they're
long.
probably on their phone.
Yep.
They're probably somewhere with their, might be at home. I would say you're probably going to get 15 to 20 seconds from a parent to know exactly where they're going.
So you got to be clear and concise with what they're looking for. You have to
Absolutely.
think like a parent who's looking for information.
Absolutely. Think like a parent.
Think like
That's
a parent. Yeah.
So first is our website checkup. You know, our other things I wanted to help you guys with is, are your dates up to date? What about registration links? What about your contact information? I know for me, I did this with my own church, and I said, well, I'm going to go look at our children's ministry within our own church. There were dates and registration links for our trunk or treat from 5 years ago that were still out there. We weren't doing anything bad. It was just we forgot to turn those sites off, or we forgot to update that. So don't, like Joel said, don't make it hard. Update your dates, update your registration links, and your contact info.
Is it a good idea to have a date on there to begin with?
Oh, that's a good question.
Like I always wonder, should you put a date on there if you're not going to update it very often? So a parent comes to the website. We saw this on our own church website. It's a 2021 register for the season. And I think, well, hold on a second. It's not 2021 anymore. It's 2025. So you just have to be careful when you put dates.
I agree.
On your website.
I totally agree. One workaround that you could do, and I'm using Kyle Oakley, I don't think he'll mind, with Lebanon Baptist Church, is they have a sports ministry page and they have a recreation section. So they don't have to update that. You click on recreation and it says soccer, and then they just hyperlink the upward URL. So they're really not having to remember everywhere that they've changed dates. They're able to just link them directly to the online registration through My Upward. Great question. Other things are updating your photos, remove your outdated flyers. I would say make it look fun. Show the parents what they're getting. How fun does it look? And then our last thing is you do need a website. In today's world, we need a website. People view this. I always like to think of a website as it's like the front door, right? Or they're browsing. They're going by the shopping. They're at the shopping center and they see that front door. They will view this before they sign up the majority of times. And this, if it's not user-friendly, they're not going to pay to be a part. As we're doing social media assistance for a lot of you guys, this has opened my eyes to a lot, is parents will click on the link, they'll leave the social media ad they saw before they register their player, and then they'll go to Google and they'll type, or Chrome, and they'll type in the church and look at your church first. They want to make sure, is this a good place for my child? Do I know anybody there? What else can I learn about this place that I am bringing my child or registering my child? Then they will register through your website. So it is very important that things are up to date. So you need a website. You have to have your photos up to date, remove outdated stuff. It's time to spring clean.
I wonder if you're not an expert. So say you're not an expert in WordPress or making a website. What should you do then?
It's a great question.
You probably find help, right? So we're going to give you permission to go and find help. Like it's just as simple as that. If there are things that you don't know how to do, go find somebody that can help you and get your website presence up to date.
That's right. Also, they make inside of WordPress, things are a lot easier than they used to be when you build your website. You can just drag or drop. One thing I have found that's helpful in my own church is there are probably teenagers or there are college kids that are very proficient in coding, or that are honestly looking for ways to get involved. And this is something that they could help you with. One thing about Upward, under your resource section, you have access to layered files that help you build out your website. But all of us probably can think of one person that could help us build this if it's not ourselves. Great questions. So as we are going through, if you have questions, do not hesitate to drop them um, in here. All right, let's keep talking about our online presence. Number 5 is our social media. Social media audit. I feel like when we did a webinar about this probably 3 or 4 years ago, social media was not as high up on the list, but now we need to audit this. People are looking at social media heavily, especially our moms and our dads that are registering. Fun thing to do is to look at your last 5 posts. Is it your church social media, or a lot of you guys, I did my own audit of some of your churches. You have your own social media page. Maybe it's a Facebook page. Look at your last 5 posts. When did you post? Do they show energy? Is it fun? Is it Christ love? I always like to ask myself, would you sign your children up for your league? Does it look like something you would sign them up in? Second thing, is it clear what families should do next? We all have to have a call to action. Sign up now. For me, I'm going so fast, right? You're scrolling fast. Grab their attention. Sign up now. Don't make them email you to sign up. Don't make them call you to sign up. Go ahead, drop it right there. Sign up now, and they'll do it. Families will. And then, fun fact, share your photos throughout your season. Your last season is the biggest promoter for you. That is one thing we're really seeing right now is families look at the season prior to see, was it fun? Who was a coach? And that right there is your billboard. They're your walking billboard for you.
I wonder with those photos, do you have to be a professional photographer? I know there are a lot of leagues that have people in their congregation who are photographers and put a great presence online. I can think of a few out there where they do that, but what do you need to take a picture?
You just need your phone.
You just need your phone, right?
Right.
So
I think that's a great point. It's nice to have a professional photographer or videographer where they can put these nice reels together. We share those from time to time on our Upward Sports page, and that's really, really nice. However, we call it organic content, right? Organic photos of people in the stands having fun, kids on the sidelines, running through the tunnel. Guys, I looked at some of your own pages, and just the fun and excitement made me want to sign
yeah,
up for
yep.
your league. So, looking at last year's season is very big. Parents look at that and they say, "Man, I want my kids to sign up."
Yeah, and
for
again,
that.
you have to post things and keep it relevant and recent,
Mhm.
because if I go to somebody's Facebook page to sign up for soccer and it says March 2022, I wonder if you're even around anymore. So make
It's
sure.
legit. Is this
Yeah,
really
yeah.
real? Correct. So it's very important to do that. So I wanted to give you, the way we're going to do this is give you a couple of easy wins. So we know what we're doing. One, use the resources given to you in My Upward. That is so important. This is where you can find it. You can go into My Upward, go under planning and advertising, and here they all are. If out of all of this, if there's one section for the advertising that I could point out, it would be our social media images. You have a library now. So all you have to do is click what you want. They say register now. They do a countdown 10 days out. They give you a blank template that you could edit. It also reminds evaluations are coming up, first game day. It was a great season. You have a full blown social media smorgasbord,
Yeah.
and it's updated every year so it matches everything that you're doing.
Yeah, we've got some great graphic designers here that put things
Mhm.
together every year so it looks fresh, so that when parents come back, they see there's something different and there's
Yeah.
a change. And so take advantage of those things. And I would add too, if there's something that's missing, make sure you let us know, because we can create things
Mhm.
and help you out. So if there are things that you would like to see, let us know, and we'll see what we can do to help you.
Absolutely. This is the new piece. So, we want to give you a new marketing blueprint. If you're a first year church partner this year and this is your first year, you probably remember our first year leaders, our leader reps, Holly Howard or Andrew Mosteller, when they walk you through your first year, they help you create a marketing blueprint, which is honestly, it's rather large. It's about 4 or 5 pages because you're starting out. And anytime you start a new business or a new ministry or anything, you have to have a full marketing plan to tell your community that you're here. Well, this is the marketing blueprint that we've created for you as a church that has done after year one, two, and on. Now, you might be a 25-year church partner. This is still relevant to you.
Mhm.
Marketing needs to be fresh every single year. And so don't feel like you have to screenshot this. I'm going to email this out to you tomorrow in a PDF so you can click it, you can download it, print it off, save it. We'll add it into our resources in my Upward. But this blueprint will walk you through simple things of like emailing past players. They're your biggest promoters, right? Getting into your schools, yard signs, getting your promo cards. It's a checklist. It will help you along the way.
Yeah, I think it's great. You have a plan. And that's one of the things too, as a league director, is sometimes you have to think about, well, what should I do next? And you get paralyzed wondering what you should do next. Well, this is going to be an action plan where you can take some steps, just keep moving forward with your advertising. It's not like you can just turn the lights on and people show up.
That's right.
You have to let them know what you're doing.
That's great. I am going to answer one of these questions that Michael asked about. Does Upward registration online include giving permission for photos of their children?
Really
to be
good
taken?
question. Yeah, that's great. So if you set up online registration, which I think 100% you should do, don't mess with cash and checks and that kind of thing. When the parents register online, part of the waiver that they sign is letting you know they're willing to have their photos and video taken for you to use for your league.
Great. The last one here, someone put, does Upward have registration or sign up forms pre-made where a church can insert their name and information to be placed in the church bulletin?
Oh, sure. Yeah, there you'll see it under the registration evaluation forms in your online resources. You can print those off. They're blank and have people use those. My hint on that would be to put a QR code in your bulletin and point people to your online registration. That way you don't have people type, you having to decipher their handwriting. You want them to go use the QR code, go to the online registration, quicker, easier, more organized, and it makes you look more professional too with what you're doing.
Absolutely. So this is the refreshing your online presence. One question somebody asked when they registered online, they said, "What is the best platform to advertise on?" And I would tell you, yes, all platforms, right? But I would tell you in today's society that I feel that social media is really important. However, social media, it cannot be done on its own. It is like building a cake. You have to have all of these ingredients. It takes the average person 7 to 8 times to see something and act on it. And so if you are doing promo cards, you're doing a yard sign, you're dropping them in school, and you continue on, social media then will elevate that one last look and remind. Truthfully, one thing that I really see that is working right now is emailing current players. So when you open your registration and you're 2 or 3 weeks out, emailing the players that have already registered and say, we want to have balanced teams. We want you to invite someone to come with you. Share this link with your friends. I have seen many of you guys that will increase from 80 to 100 players, 20 extra players just because you asked people that have already said yes to your league to invite someone they know.
Yeah, and you can go back to past participants too. If you go to the program from the year before, email, text those parents, let them know registration's open. Again, if they don't know that it's happening, they're not going to register. And so you have to make sure that line of communication is open.
Absolutely. So this is refreshing your online presence. We're going to keep moving because it doesn't stop with just online presence that we have to league reset. We also need to always take a look at our ministry moments, and that is the moments that we get to love on our families that come in. And we all know that there's a large percentage of unchurched families that are stepping foot on our campus for the first time. So, why does it matter to maximize our ministry moments? Sports ministry is not just a game, and we know this. It's about every touch point with our families. And those little moments add up to lifelong connections. So we're going to talk about a few ministry moments that happen throughout your season. And I want you to think through this. How can you, as a director, or how can you, as a pastor, how can you make the most? All right, here's our practical ways. You want to start with coach relationships?
Yeah, the coaches, you have to think they are the face of what you're doing in ministry. And so you want to equip them so that they can share the gospel, so they can teach the sport. You want to help, you want to encourage them to connect with parents. And so just keep in mind the coaches are your biggest ally in doing sports ministry. You really want to equip them to build relationships.
I think, Joel, when I first started as a league director
Mhm.
many years ago, I'll never forget that a league director that had been doing this for years prior to me said, "Your coach will make or break your league."
Oh, for
And I
sure.
said, "You're right." And so they're your biggest asset.
Yeah.
They're the face of your league. And so finding quality coaches are very important. Those that are loving and nurturing are really important.
Yeah, and you want to think about retaining them too from year to year. So do things that will make them want to come back and be a coach next year. That's an advertisement. When parents can see the same coaches are coming back year over year, that's a win for your sports ministry.
Absolutely. So we maximize our ministry moments through coach relationships. Our second one is prayer and devotions. You want to take that one?
Yeah, so the prayer and the devotion time, you want to make sure from talking to league directors, one of the most important things to a league director is the coaches are doing a devotion. And so you can equip them. We give you the resources so that a coach can do a devotion. You want to keep it simple. You want to connect them. The devotions connect to real life application. And so you want to do a really good job of that. And part of that is halftime devotions as well that you can do on game days. You might think about feedback that you get from parents. When we have a point there is if somebody says, "Hey, these are a little too long," like listen to that. It's okay to change how you do a devotion so that you're still effective in ministry. If you go on for 20 minutes at halftime, people are going to check out and they're going to look at their phone and go to the concession stand. You really have to be to the point and understand that these build each devotion builds on top of the next one. And so it's a process, not a one-time shot when you're doing some of these ministry touch points.
One question we had
Mhm.
was about halftime devotions.
Yeah.
How do you share the gospel at halftime? And I would say, I don't think you have to stand up there every single time and share a full on gospel presentation. I think you being who you are and adult sharing, an
Mhm.
older adult sharing, a coach sharing, a middle aged person sharing what God is doing in their life that allows you to build that trust with the
Yeah.
people that are sitting in the stands. And then you're able to have that gospel presentation
Yeah.
and share it with those families. So that's the way I've done it in the past. And I've seen it work again, short, simple. Parents, you have their ear, they
Mhm.
listen to you. But if it is a 25, 30-minute um, halftime devotion, they're going to check out. Also, it's going to make you run late, which that's a first impression.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, and we have some resources online too that will allow you to do halftime activities. So don't be afraid to mix it up. If something's not working, change it up. Maybe if it is working, come back to it later than season, but add some variety. I think that's what helps to keep people's
Absolutely.
attention.
Absolutely. So I want to hear, I always like to hear from you. So keep listening with your ears, but type in there and tell me what you do for halftime devotions to keep yourself on track and to connect with families. So as we're doing that, stick that in there. We'll share one of those stories out. All right. Another point for maximizing ministry moments, I'll take this one, is follow up touches. It is important to communicate to our parents. We want to keep them informed. That includes sending encouragement. You can do that through My Upward, through the communication section. You can choose parents or guardians, and you can send an email. One thing is that I really like about our system is you can schedule this out. So you don't have to remember every week to email this out. You could sit down when you create your marketing blueprint and go ahead and schedule out sends. Don't make your parents guess what is happening next, and don't just go blank and ghost them for the entire year, right? The season, you want to make sure that you are following up One thing is if a parent emails you, the timeliness that you have that you respond 24 to 48 hours. That's a great turnaround time that you respond to those parents. And that means a lot to parents when you, as a director, follow up. Now, I know that you probably are inundated with
Yeah.
emails and having to go through them, but prioritizing the follow up touch is just another ministry touch point, another ministry moment that sets your league apart.
So if you're super busy, you're saying you could reply and say, "Hey, I just saw your email.
Great
It's going to
point.
be a couple days before I get back to you." Like, let
Absolutely.
them know you saw it. That's all a parent wants to know is, am I heard?
That's
And
right.
so if you can reply in that way, even just really simple stuff.
Agree. Or if it's picture day coming up,
Mm,
uh, going ahead and thinking of here are your top 3 questions that a parent might have
yeah.
and sending that in a text or an email, that keeps you from getting emails that
Mhm.
probably if you would have communicated on the front end, you cut down on the amount
Yeah.
of emails that you have as well. So
Yeah.
think like the parent.
Yeah.
What do you want to know? For me, I know my kids right now are in 8th and 10th grade, and sometimes I'm always like, man, I didn't think about
Mhm.
this until I was in this. So think back of when you were a parent and you were in that stage. What did you need to know to help your child through that?
Yeah. What's interesting, if you're getting those questions, that means you have new parents there too, which is a great thing. Like, you're trying
That's a
to
great
attract
point.
new families to your ministry.
That's great. All right. Our next one is family engagement. Joel, you're a league director currently. Talk about family engagement.
Yeah. So the important piece there is it's engagement. Like, it's an ongoing conversation, and so you want to make sure you're always inviting families to what's next, whether it's a community night or a game night or the end of season celebration or a rummage sale at your church. Continue to invite, because at some point somebody's going to go, that one speaks to me. Like, people have a lot of different interests, and at some point you're going to have one that hits their sweet spot. Maybe it's cubing. We have some people that do
That's right.
cubing. So there's some different things, and you want to make sure that you're inviting, because the ministry doesn't end after your league;
Mm.
it continues. This is a ministry of your church, and so you want to keep what the church is doing in front of those families and parents.
That's a great point. I also like to think of your league as the front door of your
Mhm.
church. Many families are not going to step foot through the front door of the church, but they will come through the field or the
Yeah.
gym. And so this is just your connection tool, right? This is the bridge into your church. And once they feel comfortable or they feel comfortable to go to the bathroom without asking where it's at, you can ask them to step into a small group or you can ask them to step into um, the next event that you have at your church. So make the most of it.
Could you invite them to church even? You could
Absolutely.
do that. I had a pastor tell me, he said, when they're coming for our sports ministry, our goal is to show them where to park and which door to enter, so that when we invite them on Sunday, they already have that part down.
That's smart. Before we move on to our easy wins for the maximizing ministry moments, I am going to share one story because I asked the question of what do you do for halftime? And Pam says, and I love it, you guys sent a lot of things in, but I picked one. She said, we have a members, pastor, director of children's ministry, preschool teachers that give halftime devotions along with virtues and verses, and it is usually no longer than 7 minutes. Now, what that tells the church or what that tells the families that are sitting there, they go, oh, that's the pastor. Oh, that's the director of children's ministry. Oh, that's preschool teachers. They are able to put a face with a name when they come and do the devotion. So they feel welcome. So when they do decide to visit your church, they are like, wow, I remember Pastor this. I remember Pam. So that's a great way. And I love no more than 7 minutes. You can accomplish a lot in 7 minutes.
Can.
Great. I love that. I'll keep reading through these as we go. All right, let's talk about a few easy wins for maximizing our ministry moments. One, communicate by email, text through your My Upward system. We just talked about that. You can even schedule your sends. That is so important. And I wanted to show you where to find this. So you can go under the communications tab, go under settings here, and then you'll also see there's an SMS, which is text, and then there is an email. You just put your display name and the reply address, who they can reply back to, and then you can schedule that right through there. Also, Utilize your parent companions to reinforce your player devotions. And this is the parent guides. Right now, when you create your league, they're already under the favorites at the very top. These are parent companions. This helps mom and dad be able to answer the questions that your coach covered and answer them correctly. It also allows you to build a relationship with the parent, and you're planting a seed of the gospel here.
Yeah, you're helping the parents practice discipleship at home. So you're
Absolutely.
giving them the opportunity to not only lead at home, but learn about what your league's doing with devotion content.
Love it. So, if I could wrap up the maximizing ministry moments section, I would say your ministry is not just on Saturdays. It's the in between moments that families will remember the most. This is the in between. You are able to maximize what you're doing.
Yeah, very good.
Any thoughts there?
I think it's great. I think it's great. No, you said it well.
Perfect. All right. Our last one is creating great first impressions. You guys are getting ready probably for your fall league that's about to start up. It's about to be Saturdays, and you're going to be doing football and soccer. I had a phone call this morning with a first year church leader that is getting ready for basketball this winter for their first time, and they were so excited. They were getting their floors buffed, and they're getting shiny. And I said, you need to make sure you're on the webinar because we're talking about great first impressions, and it begins with shiny floors.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah. It's interesting you say that because it does. Like those details matter to families when they're coming to your church. If you've got cobwebs in the corners, you got to knock those down. Like rake the leaves, buff the floors, clean the toilets, pretend like
company coming.
you've got company coming, right?
That's right.
You want to be ready for that.
Clean the baseboards.
Yes.
That's what you got to do.
Clean the baseboards.
For real, in all sincerity here, you have to keep in mind that when you do something over and over and over again, it becomes routine to us.
Yeah.
Right? But you have first time families that have never stepped foot on your campus. And the way that your gym looks, the way that your welcome team looks, the way that your field looks, that sends a message of you're welcome here. We want you to be a part. And honestly, that sends a message of you can expect our league to look first class, organized, and detailed, or not.
Yeah.
And that's important. I think about that in any ministry. It's not just Upward Sports or your sports league. I think that's a children's bubble night. That's a ladies, moms, morning out. Everything that we do when we are representing Christ should be with a great first impression.
Yeah.
So, why does it matter that we have great first impressions? Families decide quickly if they're coming back. Hospitality and atmosphere set the tone. So, let's talk a few tips here in the next 10 minutes of what does a great first impression look like. You want to take that one?
Yeah. So it starts with the online registration. You have to be quick. You have to be welcoming. You need clear next steps. You want to do things like remove the clutter from your website, even at your own church. Like don't leave the 12 mop buckets by the front door. Put those in the closet. Like find a way to clean it up because the first impression with online registration and when people come to your church is important. So easy online registration is the first thing.
I sort of threw him off there. Did you see? I put the mops in there.
Yeah.
Twice. So
we're good.
That really wasn't a great first impression.
Mopping the floors is important, is what you're saying, right?
But that wasn't a great first impression. We're not clear.
No, we're good. Yeah, that was an example of how not to do things.
Right. But in reality, online registration is key. Is it easy to complete? Be welcoming. Tell families what they're getting. That is amazing. If it's $65, you need to say they're getting a jersey, shorts. Tell them. Tell them.
The clear signage is key, I think, is a really good one. I've been to different locations and visited some of you, and you have a huge facility and there's 12 entryways. When a parent who's coming for the first time, they don't want to be anxious about where to enter, put signs up. If you don't have signs, talk to your regional rep, your regional ministry consultant. They'll help you with ideas on that. Maybe they'll even have a sign or two that they can send to you. No promises there, but they can at least help give you some ideas on how to direct people to your facility.
And I love the part about cutting the grass and mopping the floors. And that means it's done prior to someone coming in. I have taken my kids' places and they're mopping the floors as I'm coming in. And they're saying, oh, just sit over here. Now we know accidents happen.
Right.
But if you are preparing when your guests arrive, it is very important that all of this is done. Your team is in their places and you've prayed over this and you guys are ready for your first impression.
Yep.
All right, let's go see if the next ones are correct. All right, I'll take practices. Be consistent each week with your practices. That means if you say Mondays at 5, it's Mondays at 5. It's not Mondays and maybe it's at 6, maybe it's at 8. We all have issues that come up and we have to shift, but be consistent. Have a clean and welcoming area.
Mop the
Mop the
floors.
floors, cut the grass, get rid of the ant hills. Make sure it's ready. Implement a practice night commissioner who's welcoming and looking for ways to serve your families. That allows someone to be in your gym, on your field, that is looking for those families that are sitting by themselves and being able to have conversations. That's where the big ask of come to church or taking the next step, seeing a familiar face there every week in practice. That's who asks the questions to, right? And that is who is there for you. Any thoughts on
Yeah.
that?
The practice night commissioner, one of my favorite roles, because that puts somebody in charge of being intentional on practice nights. We put a lot of emphasis on game days and things that coaches do. I think this is an area where parents are there, they're in a relaxed atmosphere, they're not there to
Mhm.
watch a game. And so there's an opportunity there for you to have a conversation. I think one of the interesting things with this one too is I talked to a league director. They were very intentional in where parents would sit during
Oh, this is
practice,
good. Yeah.
and they created areas. They used round tables. They limited the seating, and that way parents had to be together. Now, if somebody needed to take a phone call or be on their laptop, they could go somewhere else in the church, and they made room for that. But they were intentional to put
Mm,
people in spots so they could have conversations. Parents are going to come back to your league when they make friends, when they connect to you. And so be intentional with just some little tiny things. It doesn't take a bunch of money and all kinds of steps. Do one simple thing to create those connection areas.
I love that. So as we're going through this, we have a few more points here. I'd love to hear what you do for first impressions. I'll share one more story of that when you guys put it in there. Tell me what you do to create a good first impression. All right, let's talk about point number 4, which is follow through. You want to take that one?
Yeah, and we've touched on this a little bit, like it's responses to emails that you do it quickly. You're available on game days, that you're trying to have a positive attitude, that you're smiling, that you're ready for questions. You know, people are going to ask questions. Be okay with that. Like,
Defensive.
don't be defensive. Take the information, give a response when you can, but be on top of things. And when you tell somebody you're going to do something,
Do it.
do it. Like if you say, "Oh, I don't have the answer, but I'll get back to you,"
Mm.
actually get back to that person, because there are so many businesses and things that occur in life where somebody says, "I'll get back to you," and it's crickets. Like we want to follow through with people.
I know we can probably all think of that one business or
Mm.
company that like wowed us that you called. I'll give you an example. I printed some flyers last week
Mhm.
and it was my fault. I chose the wrong size when I printed the flyers and they came in and I got them out. So I'd cut people's heads off, legs were gone. I was like, oh no. I called this company and instead of like, well, you messed up, let me show you where to fix it. They fixed it for me. They
Mm.
they exceeded my expectation. They were kind. They sent it to me not 2 days. They sent it the next day. And when it came in, they called and followed up to make sure I received it. And it was my own fault,
Yeah.
which was crazy. They exceeded expectations for me. Guess what? I will use this company multiple times because of the way they made me feel, the way they treated me. So just know that this is the same in our sports ministry. We've got to create such an experience, and we are sharing the love of Jesus. So why not? And keep in mind, I know for me, I get the same question 20 times, and you just want to be like, let me get on the big screen and like answer that question. But when the 20th person asks me compared to the first, the same response and the same attitude is
Yeah.
very key there.
Yeah. No, it's a lot of times it's their first time to ask that question. Even though you might be annoyed or bored with the question, pretend like it's the first time that you're answering that, and respond with some kindness.
Absolutely. I think this one is our last point here. Nope, we got one more after this. I'll do this one. It's game day environment. Do you have friendly greeters at the entrance? For me, was a great place to put some of our older ladies and gentlemen that may not have been able to coach, or for people that said, "Hey, I want to be a part, but I can't be there
Mhm.
every Saturday, or I can't be there every night, Monday night to coach." This is a great way for you to implement other people within your church and have the ministry as a whole within the church. Friendly greeters, Again, we are on the clean facilities.
Yeah, clean.
Clean facilities, the clear signage so new families and guests know where to go. To me, this is the easiest thing for us to do, but it's the hardest for families. They don't go to church on an average normal Sunday, right? They pull up on your campus. They have not stepped foot on in church in many years, and they pull up and they have to figure out where the gym is, and it might be way behind. Giving them a clear sign of you're welcome, park here, come in this door, sit here, it cuts out any concern they have, questions they have. Make sure they know where to go. And then lastly, let's all remember we're running a sports ministry for kids. It has to be fun.
Yeah.
If it's not fun, kids are not going
Right.
to want to come back. So make your game day, wow them, have the smoke, the fog, the tunnel, call the kids' names out, make it fun so they say, I want to go back.
That's right.
to
There's no place I'd rather be.
place. Create
Yeah.
Tony and Emily Hunter say it great. Create this core memory. We can all remember our childhood sports experience and we loved it, right?
Yeah.
It was fun. Create such an experience that they want to come back week over week.
Yeah. When I come and visit some of you and have conversations, it's amazing. I'll go to a coffee shop or a bakery or even check into a hotel, and somebody at the front desk goes, "Oh, Upward. I played in that when I was a kid," and they will tell me where they played. Like, you created a memory that has a great connection for that person, and so it is important to people, that impression that you make on game day. The greeters had somebody give me a really good tip. They said retired teachers are great greeters because they know a lot of the families in your community. So if you have teachers or retired teachers, ask them to come for a few hours on Saturday. Just greet people.
I love
Makes
it.
a difference.
So before we wrap up this section, we got one more area. Mike, he shares first impressions for me would be how the facility looks, how my child is treated when attending practices and games, and how practices begin and end on time. That's great. We all think about that as like that's just being on time, right? And that's consistent. But that is showing we're honoring your family time. We're honoring your time. We're starting and ending when we say we will do. I love that.
Yeah, Saturdays are busy for families, and when you run behind, they probably have other things they're going to do that day.
That's right.
And so when you start to run behind, they miss the visits to grandparents or the one time they get to eat out on a Saturday during the week. Don't put people behind on
Agree.
game day.
I also think that if you are running behind, they begin to say, I can run behind. So on Saturday mornings, when you're ready to start your game at 9 a.m. and they're rolling in at 9:15,
Yeah.
you have told them that you're not honoring it. It's okay. So it's okay to be behind. That's great. All right. Our last section here is coaches and volunteers. Joel, you want to take that one?
Yeah, first impressions matter. We've said that a few times, but welcoming, warm, create a culture where every player, every cheerleader that's coming in feels seen and valued. They want to know. So if you know their name, use it. Encourage coaches to learn the
Sure.
players' names. You don't want week 8 of the season and your coach is still going, "Hey, you." Like, that's what people say
Still
when
with the
they
name tags
when they
every
yeah
week.
when they don't know you. They'll say, "Hey, you. Hey, buddy." Like, learn those players' names. It makes a huge difference when you can say, "Johnny, it's good to see you." You've said their name. You've seen them. Like, that's exciting for a player. That shows that you value who they are, which then leads to ministry opportunities. They'll listen to you because they know you care.
It's great. So make sure you create that warm, welcoming environment and you set the expectation for your coach and volunteers. That means you don't say it one time, you say it 6, 7 times. You're texting, you're emailing your coaches. When you're tired of saying it, they're just hearing it for
Yeah.
the first time. All right, so we are sitting at 1:45. We've got 2 more minutes in this group of area, and then we're going to answer questions live for you and do a drawing. So if you have questions, start dropping them in. So I want to give you 3 quick action steps. You may look at this and go, whoa, that's a lot. You've given me a league reset. This is an overhaul.
Yeah,
Like, you're making
yeah.
me telling me there's a lot to do. So for me, this is how I do things. I'm always like, just give me 3 easy steps of where should I start for now. 1, let's audit. Let's audit your website. That begins with looking at the logo, removing the old stuff. I would say this is our fall cleaning. It's time for us to dust the cobwebs out. Let's tidy it up, guys. Update your logos, number one. If that's all you do, update logo. That means when they see it, we all recognize brands, right? Because of the logos and because make it all look consistent. They know when I go to this church, to that church, the experience is amazing. Remove the old stuff, have a clear message. The clear message is sign up now or tell them what your league is about. We're here for your family. We're honoring your family time. Be clear in what you're doing.
Yeah, I think there's clear next steps, clear dates. They probably are not interested in a 3-page story about how your league got started and things like that. They want to know as a family what's next for me and what do I need to do.
Absolutely. So audit your website. Number two, post something fresh on that social media Facebook page. Use your marketing blueprint. Again, that's coming out to you tomorrow in your email, but use that. Sit down, give yourself 30 minutes and write out what you want to do, but post something fresh. If you're just starting your league up, the first post is registration is open. Post something fresh. And three, what is a new first impression you could do? Add one new first impression element to your league this year. Maybe it's what Joel said. You're going to go from this large space to a smaller space, of more intimate area where families sit. Maybe it's I'm going to create a commissioner that's going to be there on practice nights.
Yeah,
Any other thoughts?
just one simple thing. Like people can get overwhelmed with having too many things. My advice would be find one thing and do that first. Like take the first step, create some momentum.
Absolutely. So those are your steps. I'm going to quit sharing my screen. And I'm going to help answer questions for you in the next 3 minutes. So we're going to answer these questions. This is rapid fire. So drop your questions in. We're going to make Joel answer.
We'll answer them. Yeah.
I'm going to make Joel answer. Okay, let's see. One is, how do we recruit enough quality coaches when we have more players in our league than we have attenders
Yeah.
at church? Great question.
Really good question. So how do you recruit more coaches? And this is going to sound like an easy thing, but you have to ask. When we survey parents at the end of the season, they tell us that if they had known the need, they would have volunteered. And so you want to do it out of spirit of, this is an opportunity to serve. This is an opportunity for you to get to do something and have an impact. You're part of the bigger team. You don't want to do it out of, if you don't step up to coach, we're not going to do this. Like, that's a grumpy, guilt-ridden recruiting tool. Don't do it.
Nope.
Like, tell them how they're part of a bigger story with what's taking place in your community.
I love that. So keep your questions coming in. One question that we had earlier that I saw was, what is the best way to get into schools? Advertise.
Yeah. So a few things. There's a thing called Peach Jar, and that's digital advertising. We have a flyer that can help you with that. With schools too, it's important to talk to them first, because some schools will tell you we are only digital, or they'll tell you if you submit print items, they have to have a disclaimer on there. So you want to have the conversation with the school district first, and then create a plan from there. Signage is a good way. If there are signs close to the school or near a grocery store where families go because people eat food, so put signs there and let people know about your league. Absolutely.
So to that, a question came in about that. We can no longer get into the schools because of school board policy. I have a lot of that, Ryan, when I'm working with you guys when it comes to getting into the school. So one, Peach Jar is the workaround. If you have Peach Jar, you can submit it through Peach Jar as a nonprofit, and it will get into the school. The second way is, a lot of times, if you will, you might not be able to use schools. That's the hard part, is we have to get creative outside schools. And that's where your social media comes in. That's also where I like to use small groups. So when you have small groups in your church, I bundle the promo cards together, 10, and put a little loop around them and ask them to distribute them in their work or put them in mailboxes in their neighborhoods. So that's another great way. But you are exactly right, Ryan. That is a hard part. Some schools will even say, I'm sorry, you can't put that in here, not because of a religious side, but because we already offer sports to our kids. And that's where yard signs, and you just have to get creative. Use word of mouth.
Yeah, I think a really good advertisement for your league, and you can do this a year in advance, is to have a great game day. If you have a great game day experience and a great overall experience for your league, those parents are going to tell other parents.
Yep.
So put your time and effort into a great game day experience.
That's right. So again, I would tell you, if you've already ran leagues prior, you've already have a base. So email those
Yeah.
players first to get it started. I even say email that to them first and say, you played last year. We wanted to invite you first. Then once you get to around 25 to 30 kids, email that group that's already registered and ask them to help you as well. All right, we're going to answer 2 more questions. So keep them coming in. One says, how do you respond to an enthusiastic parent that wants to coach but is not a believer? Great question.
Yeah. So how do you respond to an enthusiastic coach, but is not a believer? So part of that's going to depend on how you run your league and what the opinion is at your church. I've met with league directors who say we don't have hardly any Christian coaches, and they see that as a ministry opportunity. They take care of the devotions at practice for all coaches, and it's a ministry opportunity. He said, the interesting thing is the coaches are there and they hear the devotion. Like, so there is still ministry that can take place there. You also could put them as an assistant coach. So maybe they're a flag football expert or basketball expert. They could lead the sport, and then you pair them with, we'll just call it a team chaplain. Pair them with another parent who can take on the devotion, or you handle that for them. But I always think there are opportunities there for ministry. Again, that's going to depend on your church, because I know some will say, hey, we have to have everybody that's a Christian that's a head coach, which I get and understand. But there are also opportunities if you could place them as an assistant coach role.
Absolutely. So Beth, that's one thing I did when I was a director. I would say our head coach would be a believer, and then I would pair that person with them. And that was a great ministry, a great ministry tool and a great outreach. Again, you have to look at your strategy and the best way.
Yeah. And I think you have to be clear with everybody on your team. Here is what we're going to do as far as coaches. That way you don't get into a spot and you say, oh, well, I thought it was okay, and everybody else on your leadership team doesn't agree. Like, let's all agree, here's how we're going to accept coaches. They're applying to that role.
Agree. All right. I want to say thank you for jumping on today. I hope that you were encouraged with the league reset. Guys, we're about to launch fall leagues and you're about to launch winter leagues. I'm so excited about it. One thing I would ask is share your photos, your videos, tag Upward Sports on all the social platforms. I want to see what's going on in your community, and I'll reshare them. So make sure you do that. I do want to close with this, but I'm going to do our drawing here. Is that I wrote this down as your work is bigger than sports. It's about showing families the love of Christ in ways that they'll never forget. And that is what we are called to do. That is promoting the discovery of Jesus through sports, which is the mission of Upward Sports. So know what you do is big. It is a calling, right? That's what we're called to do, is to go and to tell. And we're excited that we get to partner with you in your church. So when you update your website, when you make that first impression, send me and Joel an email. I'd love to see the tidying up that you've done around your community. All right, it is time to draw. I'm going to give you one more second. Again, the giveaway is you're getting a $500 sports. It's like a sports grant that we will apply to your account that helps you with social media assistance. That means we run your social media ad for you within 15 miles of your church. And we also will do an audit for your website for you, the sports, not the entire website.
Just sports side.
The sports side of things, and a 15-minute consult. So put your church name in there, and we are going to draw a name. Go ahead, hurry, do it quick. All right, Joel, you get to choose a number. Oh, wait a minute, they're still typing. Look, they're still typing.
Yeah. I just emphasize again, do one thing. Don't be overwhelmed by, I can't do all of this, but take one step, because it will build some momentum and it does make a difference.
Absolutely. All right, Joel, you get to choose a number between 1 and, actually, you choose a number between 1 and 22.
4.
That's your first number.
That's my first number.
1, 2, 3, 4. 4 is Ryan Hess. with Woodlawn Baptist Church. Everybody give him a hand. Yay! Everybody's clapping, Ryan. So, Ryan, I will reach out to you today, and you are the first one, Woodlawn. And then we get to choose one more. All right. Look, somebody raise their hand and clap.
Oh, there we go.
Tell me another number.
Let's go 18.
Okay. Give me a minute.
Spin the wheel. I should have picked a lower number. Just one. Is that?
Nope. All right.
18.
This would be Sawyer Mitchell with Rainbow Forest Baptist. Sawyer Mitchell. All right. Well, Ryan and Sawyer, you are the lucky winners. So I will be reaching out to you. I hope you guys found this valuable webinar, especially since
Yeah.
we didn't have to do it remote. We were able to do it in person. He drove all the way down
Yeah.
to do it.
That's right.
And that's awesome. But please know that we are here to support you. We want to hear what's the next webinar that you want us to cover. Send me some ideas that helps me know what you would like to hear. And I'm going to close this out in prayer and pray for your leagues, and then watch your email for next for tomorrow, and I'll send you the replay. Let me close. Dear Lord, we thank you so much for today. Lord, I just thank you for this time. I thank you for all that you have done for us, Lord. I thank you for our leagues, Lord, that are live and well, Lord, that are going to be running this fall and this winter. Pray for each league director that is on here, Lord, and that listens to this later. Lord, we love you. Amen.
Amen.
All right, guys, have a great afternoon. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.